How you doing, my family and friends? Good morning. Be grateful, be thankful. You could hear me. Sometimes we not where we want to be, and we wish that things would be different. But be grateful and be thankful that you alive, that you breathing, that you healthy, and that you could always choose to change the narrative. You don't have to sink into a sunken place, and you don't have to try to cope with current circumstances by drinking and drugging and being reckless, expecting that something positive will happen if you just let time pass. And then our mind tells us it's gonna get better, but we're not actively taking steps to make things better by choosing to do different and go down a different lane. So I say that because as time goes on, as time goes on, if you don't choose different, then it's gonna get worse. And that's what sometimes we don't understand. That's what we don't understand sometimes. So I would say that exercise your faith and believe that it's gonna get better. You gotta believe it. It all starts with your belief. It all starts with you believing and visualizing things being better, and visualizing you walking in your purpose and you living your dream. That's something that has to be visualized. You have to see it. And I learned this morning listening to Jamar King, that I have to bring my vision into my reality. And a lot of times what human beings do is that we bring our reality into our vision. So whatever vision I have to walk in that vision. I have to live in that vision. Constantly I have to see myself how I want things to be, not how they are. I have to walk and live in how things are gonna be. And every choice I make, every decision, every step, it has to be in that direction. However that looks. And it could be with writing things down. It could be with researching. It can be with reading books, watching videos, seeking help, calling somebody, praying, going to church, going into the Bible. And it's no specific way to read the Bible. It's no specific way. It's to read it, and it does no good to read it and to know it and to not act on it. That does no good either. If you read it and you know it and you learn it, then you have to act on it, because that's where the power is, in your ability to act on it and then to wait on the outcome of your action. That's called waiting on God. As long as it takes. A lot of times when we lean into our own understanding and we do things our way, then that's not gonna end well for us. When we do things our own way. And you can go back and you can revisit the past, and you can think on times that you did try to do things your way. That's the worst thing I did. When I try to do things my way and I forced the issue, it sent me down the path of destruction. you know. And look, and I ended up right here, right where I'm at in the Bronx. I ended up right here in this halfway house, right behind me, right there. I ended up right there in that halfway house right there. You know, in 2003, September 8th. 2003, September 8th, with faith and with, you know, with a vision. This is why I'm speaking on this, man, because I had a vision for myself to be where I'm at today. It was a vision, and I walked in that vision. I lived in that vision. I brought my vision into my reality. So when I wanted the nice things, when I wanted the expensive cars, and when I wanted all those things, in my mind, I saw myself having it. Not physically, but in my mind, I already had it. When I wanted the white picket fence, when I wanted the real estate, when I wanted the business, when I wanted, you know, vacations, I saw it in my mind. And I live like if that was happening, like if that was gonna happen. You know, I wasn't worried about what people was doing next to me or to the right or to the left. I was not worried about that. I was worried about me not stumbling, you know, not falling where I can't get up. You know, because sometimes we fall and we can't get up, man. And it takes us a long time to get up because I fell. When you take a hit like going to prison for X amount of years, that's a fall right there. And you're not going to get up until they let you go. So what, you're going to stumble again? You know? And just recently, this morning, I heard on the news that Big Meech, right, a drug dealer from Atlanta, from Detroit, he was recently released to the halfway house after doing 20 years. Because laws changed, and he had a 30-year sentence, and he's in the halfway house now, right where I was at. So I know exactly what he's experiencing, but after being institutionalized for so many years, it's going to be interesting what he chooses to do at this point. You see what I'm saying? It's going to be very interesting because he's in that position now where he has to rebuild. He has to get acquainted again with his family members. He has to get adjusted to society and how things are out here now from what they were 20 years ago, which is not that much different. You know, it's just a whole bunch more social media is the major things, and, you know, artificial intelligence and so forth. But for the most part, things are pretty much the same. You know, things are pretty much the same. But to be where I'm at today, and look, the reason I'm in this area right now is because I'm working in a job, getting paid, you know, a lot of money to paint, which I wanted that position 20 years ago, but I just didn't have the skill set. I just didn't have the knowledge. I just didn't have the experience, you know, and I'm left by myself. You know, there's a level of trust that goes in there. The company doesn't know me. They don't know who I am, but what do they know? That I'm a union painter, DC9, and when they go into my history in the system, it shows that I've clocked in over 30,000 hours, and I work for some of the top companies in the industry for years at a time. So, you know, they don't have to know who I am. They just know what I've done already over the past 20 years. And that opens the door for me to continue to make money to handle my business and support my family. You see, I couldn't get that when I first was released because I had to build myself. I had to build, and God helped me to do that. The same way He will help you. He helps us because God knows who we are from when we in the womb. He knows who we are. So we might not have a relationship with God at times, but He always has a relationship with us because He says, in your mother's womb, I knew you. So He knows who you are. He knows who I am since before I was even born. You know, so He been had a relationship with me. And I can't let the enemy, the world, my flesh, take me away from that right there. because that's the fight, that's the constant battle that as human beings we have, and we trying to walk in our purpose, and we trying to discover and develop the gift that God put in all of us. That's the mission right there. This is where the prayer has to be. Lord, what gifts did you put in me, Father God, and show me my purpose. Help me discover my purpose. What's the next step? And this is what that looks like for me, to share. I don't know where it's going to go, where it's going to lead, and how it's going to evolve. Just like I didn't know when I was in the halfway house how things was going to evolve. And what, I got my painting position job a year and a half after I was in the halfway house. I had no idea I was going to get into this. I didn't know. It just happened. I met a good friend of mine that talked to another good friend of mine, and one thing led to another, and the next thing you know, I'm in a union. I'm in DC9, the painters union, and I've been telling people about this for 20 years now. To investigate this, that if you don't have any other options, that this is not a bad look. It got its up and downs, it got its pros and cons, but when your back is up against the wall and when you don't have nothing, then you gotta try to do something. Whatever that looks, as long as it's not breaking rules, going against God's laws, and getting yourself in trouble. Getting yourself in trouble. We're not doing that. We're gonna pray, and we're gonna try to stay in the right path, and we're gonna make that a priority, because our kids is watching. My boys is watching, my daughters is watching, my grandchildren is watching. And they're not gonna do what I say, they're gonna do what they see. So, they watching me go to work every day for their whole entire life. They see me come home dirty, they see me come home with money in my pocket, they see me buying nice things, and that's what I want to leave to them, that they could do it too. But they gotta put the work in. They gotta put the work in one day at a time, no shortcuts. Once upon a time felon, unashamed for Christ, forever saved.